kind of sheets and one of the notes. Just one of them. Is there any techniques on that list that you've not seen before and you think, oh, that might be quite good, the ones from the tweet? If you haven't got time, you can have a look at it again in your own time. But it's just a range of things that this guy uses in there.
Alright, okay. It's really good. Yeah, I know, it makes all of this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would. Jesse, what's your pleasure?
Yeah, I'm actually
you could ask a question to stimulate. Oh yeah, but no, there's nothing wrong. Controlling perhaps language. Oh yeah, no, but that's what that's the arrangement.
Right, okay, we'll just get started. That's just there to help you or promote your thinking if you want to get involved and look at any of that or try and do techniques. A few of them at the references, Teach Like a Champion at the bottom. In that book, we've got 4 on the base. If you want to borrow it, you can look, and I've got chapters on how to flesh it out and make it a little bit better. So today, we're just going feedback. I've got 2 parts, feedback moves forward and feedback actions. I won't be telling you anything new today. I might remind you of things that you maybe do a little bit better or whatever. For most of us in here, you probably know most of this stuff, but it'd be good to have a wee refresher from a different perspective. And at the end, I've got 2 ways that I can potentially give feedback, and Patrick will take you through the way he does voice recorded feedback, and then that'll be us. Feedback that moves forward, focus forward, keep it positive and specific, match the message to the student, avoid the sat-nav syndrome, and reduce feedback over time. So as I've kind of been progressing, feedback with numbers on it, like 11 out of 20, and written feedback is sometimes slightly showing that it's quite ineffective because kids will just look straight at the score and whatever you've written, it's probably not going to be taken on board because just look at the score and go, I'm great, I'm terrible, what are right, so I can just chill out. So there is times for marks of course, but if you give feedback that can move forward rather than just a score, then move forward. That was in the whole class feedback as well. So feedback to kids needs to be they're able to understand it and take steps to then improve what piece of work that they've done. Alright, so what I try and do is just give them homework that's like no notes, exam style questions, then give them feedback on it, and that's when they can bring their notes and make improvements, but we'll cover that later on. So focus forward, so assessments or homeworks to identify gaps. Tell them what they can do next to do better, alright, rather than past performance. And this is quite important, it needs to be given part way through this awareness cycle, not at the end. So don't just wait until the end of unit assessment to do an assessment and then give feedback, because then it might be a little bit too late. So if it's not a full assessment, could it be like a homework piece or an in-class 10-minute response or something, just so you can, rather than at the end of the block, do it and then give them feedback and you then move on a new block. But if you do it halfway through the block, you get feedback, so when they do the end of unit assessment, they can close the feedback loop and do a little bit better. Alright? Positive and specific, tell them what they're doing well. Excellent, this was good, however, focus on that, kind of know this. Be specific rather than just say write more or write a better conclusion. What is it they need to include? Alright? What is it? And again, from the whole class feedback, you don't want to write the same thing on everyone's book because it's just mind numbing, write the same thing over or whatever. But this is where whole class feedback can come in, or the pupils do their own assessments with criteria, which we'll go through later on as well. Different students need different types of feedback. Some need more, some need less. Is there feedback specific to them if you're given specific it going to help them, or is it just generic stuff that's just put up on the board or put up on the work that's we maybe can't make improvements from it? Make sure the person receiving the feedback knows where it's coming from and they can do something about it. Sat-nav syndrome.
Good point, isn't
What's this?
Just, I've been doing a lot of modelling recently, so that kind of totally contradicts what I've been doing this week.
I know, we'll keep modelling, yes, which the kids can see where excellent looks like. They need to see that. And then break it down, this is what half a finished model looks like. So this, just read it.
So I suppose
It's useful, but
that's where you want to get to, but in order to get there, you need to do this bit, you're at this bit, whereas you're at this bit, whereas you're at this bit.
I would
the first time
keep
you
them all the links, I'll probably help more of them than this.
the first time you go somewhere, you need the sat nav because you don't know what you're doing, and then you can slowly
Take it
reduce
away
it.
or direction again. So just feedback over time, of course, is again more. You can change it. The reference success criteria, which I'll show. Exemplars, worked answers. We know different routes to give feedback rather than you sit and write in whole class feedback. The next one, feedback is actions. So what do you want them to actually do once they've received the feedback? Redraft or redo, rehearse or repeat, revisit and respond, relearn, retest or research and record. So this is the actions that pupils can take. Redraft or redo, if it was done, pretty good. Or there was areas for improvement. Give feedback that can move forward, then ask them to do it again. Or give full class feedback, strengths and areas for development, maybe show an exemplar piece for one of them, do it again. A set of problems, go over something, this might come up later on, go over something. As a class we weren't very good at this, we could be better at this, thanks for letting me know, this is a weakness, let's go over it. Now here you go, here's another set of problems similar to the homework, but now you have new knowledge that this is what to do, hopefully there's some improvement. Alright, so the more times they do things correctly, hopefully they get it right. So when they go home, you might think they know it. In my class last week doing this homework, and they don't know it, but I've only taught them it once, so how can I expect my expectation levels just had to change a little bit. So again, we went over it in a class. I showed them a good person's sentence, a poor sentence, and a in-between sentence. We marked it together and then said, right, now we've marked it, the success criteria, you go and make it better. Alright, the majority of them need to make it better because it's the first time doing it. But I think if you interject now during a block and they make mistakes for homework, then make it better when they sit at the end of the unit assessment, they're going to get the exact same question and they've already made the mistake, rather than them tripping up at week 6 or 8 of a block. If you find out, basically find the errors now and hopefully they go, oh, so the next time if 50% of them got it wrong in the homework, maybe it's only, half the class, maybe 70% is going to get it right next time, and that's where you can try and shoe in the right direction. So, prelims or whatever that's coming up, as you mark them, could you just take notes of the questions that they're answering poorly? Because I know another way of doing it is every staff member says to the kids what they get for each question, but how long would that take to work out the average if you're very data driven, and it might take a long time to input, right, this person for 1, they've got 2, the whole class set full year would take time. If the teacher's marking it, take note of the poor answered questions. What you can maybe do is reteach it a little bit because the weaknesses are there, then design more questions for them to drill in and hopefully make improvements through independent practice. So relearn, this has got to come back up, we'll test you again, that could make them try and work hard on that. references, so that would be higher up school. We want to find more case studies where we go out and find it to back up what they're saying or to make improvements. Yeah, so that's the feedback kind of done. This is just 2 examples from myself. I like to try and give examples with this, but I think if you just come and you just get this, you go away and you might think like, how can I action this? So always try and give an example. You might think it's good, you might not think it's very good, but if it's a starting point for you to think, can I maybe take these steps, whatever. So here, I'm just trying to feedback on, rather than answering it for them, I'm just asking questions on the coffee and coaching example one. The question 1, I'm just trying to tease out of them for them to respond. What equipment was used because they forgot that? What did you do? The problem with number 2 was the sentence 2 was wrong, so I try and make reference to that so they can make the improvements. Obviously, if I just tell them the answer, they can maybe get it right, but if I try and provoke a question, hopefully that's going to help them learn it. And then the target, number 3, it wasn't specific or measurable enough. So that's what I said, that's what they do. The last one was excellent, alright? So there's not a lot of what they've done so well there, but I try and build the culture that if it's good, I'm not saying anything about it, like they're doing well. I want them to, I'm just saying this is what you try and do better to get it even better. Maybe I could build the culture and say, this was excellent, however, well, that could come with the full feedback at the bottom for a wee comment, alright, that's just totally up to you. Kind of want the pupils to know, right, that's good enough, how to make it even better, to strive for more to get these extra marks in the exam. From the same homework, yesterday I just said to come up with this, the checklist is on the back. So this is the checklist of how I would mark for what a mark looks like. So as it's retrieval at home, I've helped them a little bit with highlighting stuff, but they've tried to, this is like an exam style question. But once I've attempted that, then we find out what they know and don't know from the success criteria. So that success criteria has been given to them to take this home. They're going to look at their work on a OneNote, and they're then going to go through, and if they've got it, they give it a tick. If they've not got it, they give it a cross. Or they just leave it blank, or you could do it in OneNote, colour the box and shade it in red or green. Then what I'd like them to do for Monday is on their homework, what they're making a change to change in a different colour. So why a different colour? What they know is in black, what they need to know and they never knew was in red or green. So the next time they write the same answer, there's more black and less red or green or whatever colour. So in that you can sense it. Alright? But this is just 10 minutes to go. There's the questioning thing at the start. There's no task skipped today because every single department's going to be different types of feedback, different volumes, different need for what type of feedback. So yes, at your table, someone there, or move to the table people are at. Do you do these things? What other things can you do? Do you want me to go back to the slide? Yes, sorry, before that, I'm jumping the gun. Before that, Patrick can take you through his verbal feedback that he uses. And if you can use that too, it's going to save you time, your workload, and your marking.
I just thought
Okay, I'll very quickly talk about giving audio feedback because this is something I'm trying to do in my higher class in particular. It saves me quite a bit of time, especially if, like me, you have difficult to read handwriting, so I spend most of my time translating my handwriting back again. So driven partly by that, and also try to get the kids to engage with the feedback a bit more. I just now give audio feedback and a certain audio file of me really talking through the strengths and weaknesses. In green, where they've done something well, and there's a sort of pink for think, which is I stole. You got that I was about to credit you, don't worry, which I stole from, okay, Mrs. Kane, the pink for think. So I'll like talk through the audio. It'll be highlight that bit, pink, what have you done there, how can you improve that, and so on. So there's quite a bit in the audio file, and then the idea at the end, I've got a sort of checklist of things they should be doing well in order to get full marks. Identify those things that you've done. And then the next stage of this is there's a feedback and next steps bit. So you can go in and identify, really use using this, which again reinforces the audio feedback, which bits they have not included. For example, using where it can be argued in the introduction to highlight my line of argument. So she knows she hasn't done that. That will have also been said in the audio feedback. Then identify that the next time you do this type of essay, those are the things to include. Now the last bit of that, which I haven't done yet, because I haven't come back and done this sort of 12-mark essay, is to make sure that they are acting upon that feedback. So taking the next steps and then, similar to what Stephen's saying with his, highlighting where you are putting these things on, which then allow you to just check. You said you were going to do this. Okay, you've done that, that's fine. But that stage is yet there. So I think I use audio feedback with the hires. I also use it with our S2s, and they're talking about their assessments. It does force them, give them that 10-15 minutes of dirt. It's not dirt time, is it? Because the T is the time. So it's just dirt. To what was it? That was my Northern Irish accent.
Dirt time. I wasn't doing that
Dirt.
Irish accent.
I thought that was your Northern Irish accent there, didn't it? Dirt. So you do 10-15 minutes of that to give people the opportunity to reflect and to really engage with the feedback and then clearly identify their next steps. I think even last night's parents' evening, you can see the benefit of that, because in the past, if I asked kids, what level are you at? What are your next steps? There'd be a lot of umming and ahhing about this, but they have actually been forced to engage with it, and they were much better at saying, oh yeah, I need to, when I'm doing describe questions, add a little bit more detail. So that's anecdotal, but that is the evidence I have that's been successful with the S2s.
I tried it off the back of you saying that, because I've never done it before, and the same thing as parents said last night, more of them were able to tell me their level, what they were good at, what they needed to improve, so it did help. Can I just ask you the checklist?
Yes.
Do the kids check it, or do you check it?
They check it.
They're checking it to see what they've done?
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Could you get them to do that in advance as well? Then I can have another one. And I said, well, you said you did this, but you didn't do that. But that was just once they've done it. Okay. They're checking it.
So they check it according to what you said in your feedback. So they're listening to it and they go, oh yeah, I've done that. Or do they look back over their essay themselves and then go?
So a bit of a combination of both. They're self-assessing to start with, and then listening to the feedback and thinking, are there any other things? I do try and focus on some of the key areas of this that I don't think they've done. Yeah. Okay, so that should be reinforcing themselves.
Question: do you do it as one big audio recording, or do you do little snippets for?
No, one big, 3 minutes, and I feel occasionally there might be I'll need to put a second one in, but usually I can cover this is what you've done well, this is what you need to improve within 3 minutes. Yeah, the second year ones never went over a minute.
Like one recording, and when it's been bigger aces like folios and things, it's maybe a couple. So I just
but yeah, it's in terms of time it saves having to write stuff out. It is massive. And you never have to listen to your own voice back again either, because it's them listening to it. Your headphones on. Okay, so they can listen to you. It's fine. You never have to listen to it.
You do have, like, at the start of your next assessment, the same question. Emily Rose gets, what was your feedback from the last time?
Yeah, she can go back to it, listen again, easily, so they go back and just get.
Is that, so if you write that with no notes on assessment?
What's that saying?
Is it an assessment, no notes? Like which writes it?
Well, this is not, we should be doing this with our notes probably, but yeah.
With the second year ones, we had a page in their OneNote that they had to fill in based on the feedback they were getting. So
which was level, strengths, next steps, how you're going to do their actions.
I'm actually going to get the second years to write, so they're going to listen to their feedback and they're going to create a column in their feedback grid and write what their next steps are themselves, so that they are actually listening to it and then actively doing something about it.
And the last bit is just that closing that loop, that are they then doing something with it? It's fine, we
That's
can talk about it and so on, but how are we evidencing that they are then acting upon that feedback and it is leading to improvement? I suppose that's it. Anyway, 5 minutes I think to discuss how you might do it in your departments. Tom?
Many of my classes are kind of paper written work and don't have devices. How would you do a feedback session like that?
I would be encouraging them to take photographs of things and upload them onto to OneNote, but for those few kids who are not, then you know, they still should be able to access OneNote, so you can still go into their page and you can put the audio file there.
It'd be more of a home activity for them rather than
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would say so.